boys and girls, remember last time when Mrs. Michelle told us that Abram was going to have more and more children and generations and offspring. And he didn't have any. He didn't have any children. God told him he was going to have as many as there were stars in the sky. There's the picture from last time. Wow. But he still didn't have any. All right, let's see what happens today, shall we? Today we're going to discover that we can trust God. Trust God. All right? That's our Bible point. So every time you hear the words, we can trust God, point up and say, trust God. Let's try that together. All right? We can trust God. Trust God. Awesome job. All right. God always keeps his promises. Right? Sometimes he comes through in surprising ways. Sometimes he gives us what we ask for. Sometimes he gives us more than what we could possibly hoped for. Those are really extra special times too, aren't they? All right. But I promise, no matter what comes our way, we can trust God. Trust God. Well, if you were here live, you would know that we are back in Faith Street. We're on Faith Street again. And this is our new classroom, at least for now. I just thought maybe since you're at home, you haven't seen it, and maybe you'd like to see part of it. All right, there we go. Now, we're going to visit our Bible memory buddy, Ray. You remember Ray? He's a giant manta ray. All right. So what do you know about manta rays? Do you know any Spanish? Manta is a Spanish word. So look at the picture, and I'll give you two guesses which one manta means. Does it mean blanket, or does it mean float? Looks like it could mean either one. How many think it's blanket? How many think it's float? Well, let's find out. Did we do a drum roll when you're waiting for something? There we go. It means blanket. All right. So now you've learned something new about a manta ray. Now the Bible is God's true story of love. And each one of the books in the Bible is made up of chapters and verses. The chapters are longer, and the verses are usually about a sentence long. All right. Our memory verse is Psalm 33, verse 4. We'll say it together. It's back here. I'm not sure if you can read that big sign or not. Let me see if I can move it just a little closer to make it a little easier for you to read. Whoa! Not like that. There we go. Now I think you'll be able to read it easily. If I can get it in focus. There we go. For the word of the Lord holds true, and we can trust everything he does. Psalm 33, verse 4. All right. We'll try a little bit one more time, and I'll show you some actions, okay? For the word of the Lord holds true, and we can trust everything he does. Psalm 33, verse 4. Because we can trust God. Trust God. We trust that he loves us no matter what. And we'll be singing some songs when we're alive, but I can't do the songs right now. I can't get it to work. All right? Another time. Hopefully we'll get that going the next time. All right. Can you think about a time that someone told you something and you thought it was so funny? Let me think of something that someone was so funny. Maybe they told you a funny joke. I have a joke. All right. Are you ready? Okay. I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm going to try to read it. Oh, if I can find it. Okay. It dropped. Here we go. All right. And the teacher said to Joan, "If I had 6 oranges in one hand and 5 oranges in the other, what would I have?" You know what she said? Very big hands. Can you imagine trying to carry 6 oranges and 7 oranges? Yeah, very big hands. That's a joke. Okay, there you go. Kind of sounds like a math problem, but they made it into a joke. All righty, here we go. Now, in today's Bible study, God promised He'd do something for a special family, but they would have to wait. Do you like to wait? I'm not very good at waiting, especially if it's something I really want. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I have snow. It's a winter shirt, and believe it or not, I really like the snow. I like to make snowmen and snow angels, you know, when you lay down and go like this. And I just like to shovel snow and throw snowballs. But it's nowhere near the time to be snowing just yet. I think people thought I was kind of silly when they saw my sweater here, because it's not winter. Not in Michigan, and not today anyway. But I'll wait. I can wait patiently. All right. Well, here we go. We can trust God. Trust God. But it's hard to trust when we don't understand. In today's Bible story, we're going to hear about a man and a woman who didn't quite understand God's promise. Remember what the promise was? The promise was that he would have as many descendants as stars in the sky. It kind of sounds kind of confusing, especially when he doesn't have any children. Sarah and Abraham didn't have any children of their own, did they? Right. We are going to use our imaginations and imagine that we're going to get the classroom ready for some very important people. All right? Let's see. Oh, goodness. Probably should do a little dusting. Okay. I'll start. You dust by your house. You dust the table. Not really dusting. We're pretending. All right. And maybe we should make sure that the pictures are straight. What do you think? Let's do that. Looks good to me. All right. Oh, and these are very important people. We should go take a shower. I'm not really going to go. We're pretending. All right, so we're standing in the shower. Whoosh, and the water's coming to wash my hair. Oh, what a mess. Wash your hair. Okay. Huh. All right, I think we're all done with that. We're safe. I'm hang up our towel. We want that to get done. It'll dry up. Probably should blow dry my hair. It's awfully wet. Is your hair dryer noisy or quiet? Do you even use a hair dryer? I don't know. All right. I think we're ready for company. What do you think? All right. Let's get to the story. Now we meet Abraham in the book of Genesis in our Bibles. And for those of you who may not know, Genesis is the first book. So it's right near the very beginning that we meet him. His name used to be Abram. But God changed it when he made Abram a special promise. God said Abram would have a big family and they'd play a special part in God's plan. It's exciting. All right? So our story is all going to start with a baby. A tiny little baby. The baby is not Jesus, although that's a very, very special story about a baby in the Bible. But this is another story. And you know what? The man and the woman in this story are not Adam and Eve. They're Abraham and Sarah. So here we go. It took a long time for the promise to come true. Day after day, month after month, year after year, Abraham and Sarah got older and older, waiting and waiting to have a baby. It may have seemed like God had forgotten. And then one day, something happened. And that's where our Bible story begins. 3 important visitors showed up when Adam wasn't ready. He was going to have to, well, I'll show you that. Imagine Abraham is sitting in the doorway to his tent. Suddenly, Abraham looks up and sees 3 very important visitors. Abraham leaps to his feet and runs, and he bows to them. Can you take a bow like Abraham? Very nice. Careful when you come back up, you don't bump your head. Try again. Very nice. Then Abraham invites them to have a meal with him. The visitors agree, and so Abraham runs home and tells Sarah to bake some bread. Abraham takes all the food to the visitors, and they eat the feast. Let's pretend we're eating a lot. I'll reach for some bread. Oh, would you like something with that? There you go. All right. I think you might need something to drink. Here you go. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't see. What did you want? Vegetables? Sure. Here you go. There you go. Oh, more bread. There you go. Some bread for you. Okay. Enough feasting. Let's get back to our story. One of the visitors said, I'll be back this time next year, and by then you and Sarah will have a son. Really? They're old. I mean, Abraham's over 100 years old. I don't know about you, but most times when someone has a baby, they're like your mommy and daddy's age. They're not like your grandma or grandpa's age, or even older than that. But God promised, and God can do anything, so let's find out. Okay. Now Sarah was in another tent eavesdropping. Do you know what that means? That means she was listening in without them seeing her. She got like this, and we're listening. So much time had gone by, and Sarah was way past the age that she was going to have kids. And when she hears what the visitors said, that by next year she would have a son, she laughs to herself. Have you ever laughed at something silly? Yes, I was laughing. Oh my goodness gracious, now we can laugh out loud. oh, my side's hurting from laughing so hard. Oh, stop. No more. Yeah. Oh, okay, time to get serious here. All right. What do you think Sarah said to herself? So, I'm going to read today from my Bible in Genesis chapter 18, verses 12, 13, and 14. So Sarah laughed to herself, saying, after I'm worn out and my Lord is old. Now, this time my Lord is a lowercase l, and that means she's talking about Abraham. All right? Shall I have pleasure And the Lord said to Abram, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Shall I indeed bear a child now that I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord?'" That time it's a capital and it means God. "At the appointed time I will return to you about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son." And nothing's too hard for God, is it? And that's why we can trust God. Trust God. Abram and Sarah had been waiting and waiting, and it just didn't seem like the promise would ever come true. Maybe you know what that's like. Are you waiting and trusting God right now for something to happen? Sometimes all we can do is trust, wait, and keep praying. What's something you've been waiting for? Oh, really? Huh. That sounds like fun. No. I'm not waiting to have more children. Maybe more grandchildren, but not more children. Oh, I didn't think of that. You're very clever. You're very clever. All right, but no matter what we're waiting for, we can trust God. Trust God. Did you notice how much Sarah's laughing? But wait. All right. Now we're going to get back to the story. The visitors finished eating and went on their way. Bye. You want to wave? Bye. Now, a year later, guess what Sarah is doing? She's rocking a little baby boy in her arms. Oh my goodness. How could that be? I'll read a little further in Genesis, chapter 21 this time. We were in 18. Now we've jumped ahead to 21, verses 1 and 2. The Lord visited Sarah as he said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son, even in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him. Abram called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore, Isaac. Wow. Isaac means he laughs. No wonder Sarah trusted God, and God kept his promise to her. We can trust God. Trust God. God always keeps his promises. Abraham and Sarah waited a long time, didn't they? How do you think you would feel if you had to wait a long time for something you wanted? Would you be patient? Excited? Scared? Nervous that somebody forgot? There's lots of different ways we feel that sometimes. All right. Well, we can trust God. Trust God. And in our Bible story, Sarah laughed because what she heard sounded so ridiculous. She couldn't help but laugh to herself. The visitors reminded Abram and Sarah that nothing is too hard for God. What seemed really silly came true. Didn't it? You just had to wait, and it came true. All right. Well, I haven't come up with a craft yet, because it's kind of hard to think of a craft with the baby. But I think what might be best is to get some crayons and paper, maybe a pair of scissors and a little glue. And I'm sure between us we can come up with a craft to do, okay? So that's the end of our story for today. I hope you appreciated, and now you can remember that we can trust God. Trust God. All right? We'll say our Bible verse one more time, and then in the next video, I'll have a craft for us to do. All right? Here we go. Remember? For the word of the Lord holds true, and we can trust. Hold on, we can trust everything he does. Psalm 33, verse 4. Right. Hope to see you all back on Faith Street again soon if you haven't been able to make it back. And just as a reminder, we are wearing masks in class. But there isn't anyone else here right now, so I took my mask off. All right? God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon with the craft. Bye.